10.
That there's a common denominator in the human experience. And I want the same thing you want, which is the same thing you want and you want. What we all want is to be able to live out the truest, highest expression of ourselves as a human being. That doesn't end until you take your last breath. What is the truest, highest vision that you hold for yourself? No matter where you are in your life, there's always the next level. There's always the next level to the last breath. So I feel that I always knew that I would be done with the show when I felt like, oh, I've said as much as I could say here on this platform. And then how will I be used? If there were a theme song to my life, Amazing Grace would be one of them, and Keep On Using Me Till You Use Me Up would be another one. You know that Bill Withers song? Yes. So I feel that until you have used your value as a human being, you're not done.
This is not what are we going to persist at sitting and eating potato chips and watching TV? That's not going to be good. What we have to do is persist towards our dreams. What are the 3 things you could accomplish if this day, this very day, and tomorrow, and start moving towards your dreams? Every day, wake up with an intention. I'm going to do at least 3 things to move myself forward to something that matters. At least 3 things. Everybody can do that. Just pick, what are the 3 things I'm going to do to move my life forward this day? Who would I need to reach out to be able to move forward? What could I read or study online to move forward? What could I do? Just one simple request, one simple movement, one simple step to move forward, and persist at that over and over and over again, and that's how things change.
See, easy come, easy what? Easy go. See, but when you go at what you're going to deal with and you deal with the difficulties of it, when you handle those hard things close at hand, making those hard decisions right now that you don't want to make, learning those things that you don't like to do, but you know that in order for you to get where you want to go, this is one of the hoops that you have to flip through. And I'm saying to you, whatever you got to do it, because if you don't, life is going to whoop you until you surrender. You have something that you brought to the universe, and that if you decide that my life deserves my developing this what I do well, and becoming the best at it, and mastering myself, and seeing what I have within me, if you decide to drop your buckets where you are and develop your gifts, I grant you, you'll never ever be without. I grant you that your gifts will take you places that will literally amaze you. I grant you that if you begin to work to develop your gifts, you'll develop a strong sense of happiness. You'll get a larger vision of yourself, because part of beginning to get a larger vision of yourself, all of us need some area of our lives where we can have a feeling of competence.
I don't want you here. I never want to hit 1 million subscribers on YouTube. I don't want you here. I don't need it. I don't need that. I need to make an impact. I want the legacy of you coming up to me. Last night at my meetup, the 400 people, 300 people showed up. 40 of them whispered in my ear, "You changed my life." That's what I get off on. Not them still buying my books or buying my courses or being a VaynerMedia client. I want legacy. I've made enough money. I'm good. I'm great. If I don't make a single dollar again, great. I don't need to buy the jets. I need to try to buy the jets. That's a distinction. I want legacy. I want you to show up to my funeral because you watched a Facebook live stream when I was in San Diego and I ranted and I finally kicked your ass into gear and you realized no more reading, no more consuming, time to do. Try to put your fears in action. Great, you go over 70. I love when people don't hire us. You're moving, you're constantly moving. Like, that's how you have to do it. You just can't just think and ponder and read Medium and wonder and watch 1 more book and order 10 more Udemy courses and go to 4 more fucking conferences. Enough listening, start doing shit. Don't be scared. Like, it's action, it's going, it's doing.
Rebels wake up in the morning and they think, hey, what do I want to do today? They're completely motivated by present desire. They want to do what they want to do. And they are very likely to resist if someone else asks them or tells them to do something. In fact, they are very likely to want to do the opposite if someone asks them or tells them to do something. Now, this can be incredibly helpful. In certain situations, like you want to think outside the box, a rebel's going to think outside the box. You want somebody to break the rules, they love to break the rules. They love disruption, they love lawlessness. They're attracted to it, and they thrive in it. And they're also very authentic. You know, they're doing what they want to do. They're very much in touch with what they want. And that can be great. But you can also imagine that it's pretty frustrating to be with somebody who, if you ask or tell them to do something, is going to do exactly the opposite. And this can get to the point with some rebels where I say, oh my gosh, read this book, you're going to love it. You're like, I'm not going to read it. I hate it. That, you know, rebels will, have this spirit of resistance that can be difficult, and it can also almost allow them to be controlled because they have such a strong desire to do the opposite sometimes of what people tell them.
Five.
Now, even just a few moments of meditation can serve as sort of a mental reset button, reducing stress, calming worry and anger, and leaving you in a noticeably better mood. Now, fourth, you can use positive affirmations. The power of a few minutes of repeating positive affirmations is something that should be used. Positive affirmations are a proven technique to improve your mood, reduce stress, and boost your confidence. The trick is that your subconscious tends to believe what you repeatedly tell it. This is why people with a negative outlook tend to end up affirming their negative views as truth in what amounts to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. Thankfully, the reverse is also true, and positive affirmations can be used to convince yourself that the positive things you tell yourself really are true. Now, your positive affirmations will vary depending on your own goals, your interests, your current situation, but choose affirmations that will uplift and inspire you, and then spend a minute repeating them to yourself.
4.
Remember this, unemployment will not help your relationship. Somebody know what I'm talking about. I know you do. Think about it. We're a young family. We got a baby. She's a doctor who can't practice. I'm the breadwinner, and I quit my job thinking I'm going to Wall Street. Things got tough at home. Things got tense. I still had one shot left at the street. But before I can play it all the way out, I still got to take care of my family, which meant I did everything legal that I could to take care of my family and still pursue my last shot at the street. I cut grass, hauled rubbish, cleaned basements. I learned roofing. I learned painting. I did everything that I could to take care of my folks and still pursue my last shot at the street. Had a situation at home, things were tense. Had a problem, something happened. Probably never happened to anybody in this room but me. I had one of those arguments with my ex that only ended because we both fell asleep. Now, somebody know what I'm talking about. I know you do. We woke up in the morning, everybody's feet hit the floor, and guess what? We went at it again. The neighbors don't know what might happen, what could happen, what's going on. They call the police. The police come. They want to make sure everything is fine. Take her over here, calm her down, talk to her. Take me outside, calm me down, talk to me. And one of my friendly Berkeley police officers doing his job says, do you mind if I search your car? No, sir, go ahead, no problem. Searches the car, nothing. Then again, doing his job says, well, let me just run this license plate through a computer. That was it. With interest, I had $1,200 in unpaid parking tickets, all of which I had accumulated the previous year trying to interview in downtown San Francisco. Double parking, illegal parking, late to feed a meter. An honest question would be, you knew you had the tickets, why didn't you pay them? Well, you know what? The position I was now in, having to cut grass to put food on the table, every dollar that came in the door, I had to make a decision. I could pay the rent or I could pay the tickets.
3.
At age 10, tried to drown myself in 6 inches or 15 centimeters of water. In my home, I told my dad I just wanted to relax. But really, I wanted to end my life. I had enough.
But it was so hard because people put me down. And I started believing that I was not good enough. I started believing that I was a failure, that I'd never ever be somebody who people would like or people would accept.
2,
Women have a harder time with failure. And yet everybody who has succeeded will tell you that there is no success without failure along the way. And I know in my own life, I've had plenty of failures, but once you succeed, people forget about your failures. So I think successful people should talk more about their failures, especially to women, because women who have a sense of perfectionism and wanting to get everything right often refuse to take risks, because when you take a risk, you never know if it's going to succeed or fail. My mother, fortunately, brought me up believing that, as she put it, failure is not the opposite of success, it's a stepping stone to success.
1,
Years I figured out our whole life is shaped by decisions. That's what we've talked about today, right? But there's 3 decisions you're making every moment you're alive. And the way you make these 3 decisions shapes your destiny. First decision we're all making every moment is, what are you going to focus on? What are you going to focus on? I realized that my father's life and my life ended up very different because we made that day 3 decisions very differently. He decided to focus on the fact that he has not fed his family. And the second question you got to decide, every moment you're alive, including this moment, what are you going to focus on? Second question is, as you're focusing on, what does this mean? What does it mean? And the bottom line on meaning is, if you think about it, you get to make up the meaning, and most people pick the worst one, don't they? That day, my father decided to focus on the fact he hadn't fed his family, and I know what meaning he gave because he said it out loud over and over again, that he was worthless because he had not taken care of his family. And then the final, most important decision you make every moment you're alive, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I'll tell you what he decided to do. He decided to leave our family shortly thereafter.